Call to order the regular board meeting for October 28th, 2025 for the Village of Hainesville at 6:30 p.m. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Mary Koval.
Here.
Trustees Richmond.
Present.
George Duberstein.
Here.
Abramson.
Here.
Georgiana Duberstein. Here. Crease.
Here.
And Williams.
Here.
We have an established quorum. We need an approval for the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Discussion at all? Roll call.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we need accounts payable.
She has a question on some of the accounts payable stuff.
We'll have to remove it from the consent agenda. We'll remove it from the consent agenda. We have to get through the agenda first.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so for the approval of the agenda, trustees Richmond. Aye. George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgiana Duberstein. Aye. Crease.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Live on camera there. So, yep. Want to welcome Scott Tremaine from Selden Fox for the review of the annual fiscal report for fiscal year ending April 30, 2025. Hi, Scott.
Hi, good evening. Thank you everyone for engaging us to do the audit again. And as always, I would like to thank Kelly for all her hard work in preparing for the audit. Everything was in very good order and we certainly appreciate that. For this year, we are providing 3 main deliverables with the audit. So you have the audited financial statements, a required communication to the board on the results of our audit, and then a management letter on internal control related comments and observations. So I will first cover the financial statements briefly. As you get into the financial statement report, you'll note that the first item following the table of contents is our auditor's report. And for 2025, that is again what we refer to as an unmodified or clean opinion on the financial statements. So that is the best form of opinion that you can receive. It means that we found the financial statement amounts and disclosures to be fairly stated in all material respects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. I do always like to note that when we say the word material, it's important to note that an audit cannot provide absolute assurance on the accuracy of the financial statements because we don't test every transaction. To do that would just be cost prohibitive. So ultimately, management is responsible for the accuracy of the financial statements and for ensuring that there is a proper internal control system in place to help identify any material errors or fraud. I will note that at the bottom of the first page of our opinion, there are 2 items that we are required to point out in order to just bring these matters to the attention of any readers. So first, we note that there was a correction of an error in the prior year financial statements that related to the village's receivables from cell tower leases. There were some recent changes in the accounting standards that impacted the way those leases are recorded. And as part of that, you do have to make some estimates and assumptions when you prepare the financial statements. So in the village's case, the lease agreements provide various renewal periods that the cell phone companies may or may not opt to use. And while you cannot know for sure how many of those renewal periods that they will elect to go for, the village was able to negotiate some terms that provided for lease guarantees in case the cell companies did opt to break those leases early. So those penalties effectively ensured that the leases would carry for the period of the guarantees, or the village would get paid anyway. So the lease receivables were adjusted to reflect those guarantees. As noted in the audit opinion, the effect of those corrections is discussed in detail in note 12, but it did result in an increase to the receivables. And then the other point that we note at the bottom of that first page is that there were some new accounting standards that were adopted. If you've been on the board for a few years, you've heard me talk about several new accounting standards over the last couple of years. GASB, which is the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, has been very busy recently. For this year, there was another new standard that was adopted, and that relates to the way that your compensated absence balances, like sick and vacation time, get recognized in the financial statements. So in the case of the village, this didn't actually have any material impact on the financial statements, but it did change some of your note disclosures. So as we move past the audit opinion, you'll see the first item that follows that opinion is what we refer to as the management discussion and analysis. This has a nice narrative overview of the financial statements with some summarized comparative financial information, along with a good discussion of some key changes for the year. If you've not already done so, I would certainly encourage you to read that, as it can be helpful in understanding the financial statements and what did occur during the year. So as you move past the management discussion and analysis, the first item that you'll get to in the financial statements then is the statement of net position. That's marked as page 4 in the document, if you have a hard copy page number in there. This ultimately takes all of the village's assets, including your infrastructure, your roads and water and sewer items, plus any deferred outflows totaling about $19.1 million. And then we reduced that by your liabilities, which were about $1.4 million, to arrive at the village's ending net position, which is about $17.7 million. Now, most of that, roughly $13.6 million of that is invested in capital assets and infrastructure, or restricted for some other uses. So that the remaining unrestricted portion, which you can really ultimately use at the village's discretion, is about $4.1 million. I'll point you to page 8 in the report, which does show the village's general fund information. And there you'll see that the village is maintaining a very healthy fund balance of approximately $1.8 million. That's about 78% of your annual expenses for the fund. So you're over 9 months there in your reserves, essentially. So that's a very stable position to be in. And with regards to the general fund, I'll also note that on page 14, there's a comparison of the activity against the budget. And there the village had projected or budgeted to spend down some of your fund balance. You were anticipating a loss of about $600,000. But some of those projects that you had budgeted were delayed, and the actual loss only ended up being about $52,000 for the year. So in the interest of time, I'll just pause there and leave it at that for the financial statements, but I'll stop to see if anyone has any questions on those. I'd be happy to answer those.
The questions are just for the financial statements, because I do have some questions about the last page of the letter.
Sure.
Oh, all right. How does this, do we have any somewhat, I noticed some deficiencies. Are any of these carrying over from previous years?
Yes, so in the internal control letter that you're referring to, where comments on the deficiencies. There are 2 items that were carried forward there regarding the adoption of a risk assessment process, and then a comment regarding IT security and policies.
On page 2 of that letter, in paragraph 2, there's a comment here that kind of disturbed me a little bit. It says, the village currently does not have anyone on the staff with the relevant qualifications and or training to prepare financial statements.
Yeah, so I can speak to that. So let me just note for you that it is very common, and this ultimately kind of goes back to some of my comments when I talk about the audit opinion. The village is ultimately responsible for the financial statements. It is very common, I'd say probably 95% plus of our smaller municipal clients that do opt to have us prepare the financial statements as part of the audit. Because when I talked about the GASB standards, they've been changing so much over the years that for you to be able to be in a position to prepare all of those required note disclosures and other items that go into the financial statements would take a significant amount of training and additional costs that most municipalities ultimately don't opt to incur. So that's where most entities will elect to have the auditors prepare the financial statements. And this is really a comment that just comes because of the way auditing standards are written and that requirement for you to take responsibility for the financial statements. Under the auditing standards, the auditors cannot be part of the village's internal control structure. So that's kind of where that comment comes from. It's really generated and triggered mostly by the way audit standards are written.
Yeah, because I've had a lot of respect for our treasurer and worked with her, over the years, and I was a little taken back by that statement.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we've worked with Kelly over the years, and we spend time talking through many of the new GASB standards, but then she's typically able to prepare and provide information that we need to get those disclosures correct in the financial statements.
Well, are you telling me that you are involved in preparing any of our financial statements?
That we are, did you say, I'm sorry, that we are involved?
Are you involved in any of them?
We do, yes. So we draft the financial statement notes and disclosures as part of the audit, yes. And again, that is very common in municipal audit agreements.
And George, I just want to clarify. It's not the monthly financial statements that I pass out. Those are all from me. It's all the audit, all the financial statements within here is what our auditor prepares.
Okay.
That's right, on a monthly basis. That was Kelly, I'm sorry, I can't see everyone. It sounded like Kelly. So yes, it's ultimately just the document that you have before you, the year-end financial statements with all of those note disclosures.
Yeah, I noticed you made a recommendation here that we consider developing procedures for a formal annual fraud risk assessment. Are we doing anything along those lines?
We don't have a yearly fraud assessment yet. What we do is have different segregation of duties that we've been continually modifying in that. It's on the books to start working on. And actually the other portion about the computer IT, we're fortunate to have Trustee Abramson in the IT world. So I forwarded him a lot of material, and him and I are working to get our policy and procedures because he knows what to do.
Okay,
So
that's
we
great.
should have that comment next year.
And maybe just for some additional background, just to clarify that fraud risk assessment issue, Kelly alluded to the internal controls and all sort of the segregation of duties and additional reviews that the village puts in place to try and prevent fraud. This again is a comment that kind of stems from auditing standards, and effectively you have management and employees performing those controls. So there is always risk that those controls could be overridden. So that's where the fraud risk assessment comes into play, is that you want to have some board level involvement in sort of challenging the opportunity for any of those cases where, you know, management could override a control or a review that's designed to be put in place to prevent those fraud instances from occurring.
Thank you.
Douglas has a question too.
Hey, Scott, good evening. Question for you. It's probably not directly connected to the audit, but just overall, because I'm sure you deal with a lot of municipalities. Have you seen impact on municipalities because of all the new data centers that are opening up? Because we have one opening up here, not far from here. So a lot of neighbors in the area are talking about it because it sounds like there's going to be a big increase in electricity costs because of the data centers. Have you seen that or dealt with it in some of the audits?
Yeah, the only thing I can sort of comment on that is that absolutely to your point, the concern has been focused on the electrical draw and risk of those charges increasing. But that is, you know, somewhat outside of the scope of our audit. But to your bigger point, yes, that's been the concern that's been brought to light in most cases that I've heard.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
Okay. I'm sorry, was there one more?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, then I would just thank you all again for your time and the opportunity to be of service to the village, and hope you all have a good evening.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks,
Thank
Scott.
Scott.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So do we have any public comments tonight?
I guess me. I just go ahead and talk. This is my first board meeting, so I haven't been in before.
So normally when you come in, sign in by the door, and then there's a little green sheet for you to fill out so that we can address you directly.
Oh, well, thank you. Is it okay that I address you guys then?
Sure.
I just have a couple of things. Well, first of all, I wanted to acknowledge some great things I've seen.
Could you tell us your name first?
My name is Kathy Nordmeyer. I live on Holiday Lane. Just wanted to say, the first time I visited you guys, I was trying to find out the people who were running. So I got to meet the board at that point in time. And great to see you guys all again, and a lot of you being back in. I wanted to commend, one of the things I remember hearing is the police department being talked about. And I gotta tell you, as I was driving to work the other day, I saw Grace Lake on the side of the road with the CSO, young man, good kid, changing a tire for somebody in the rain. I know a lot of people complain about their presence sometimes not being aware. I've never had that issue personally, but I've always found that anytime I've ever had an issue with them, they've always been around. I feel that they're not ticket writers, they're more for the people. So, I mean, they enforce by being around, but I mean, they're not big ticket writers even for their own village. So kudos on them. Public Works, I've dealt with them a few times, being on the board at the Holiday Lane. When I've called, they put up signs. They return my phone calls. went back and forth a couple times with one of the guys, super great. I just want to commend and say they do a great job. With that, I'm hoping to ask for another sign. As we drive into Holiday Lane, and I don't know how this works, when you go left, it's a one-way route. And there is no sign saying do not enter because people tend to leave their houses and come back going the wrong way. And I know on the other side, there's signs that say do not enter so people don't go the wrong way, but it's not coming back the other way.
So when you turn left, coming back out of your driveway, not to turn left and go back the wrong way.
Kind of like right at the entrance when you drive in, we're right here, and these people here, we go to the left. So these houses here, people tend to pull out and go this way again. And it doesn't say do not enter coming back out. We have it going in. Hopefully that can be addressed, but at that time. The other thing is Centennial Drive. I mean, I have driven there so many times, and especially on the weekends, I'm kind of surprised we don't have parking only on one side of the road. Like, I think it is ultimately dangerous because I can be coming around that circle, and there is trucks on the right, trucks on the left. I'm coming around the corner and almost hitting, like we're headed, where one of us has to back up because we can't both get through when there's cars on each side. So I'm kind of wondering why there isn't, or is there a possibility that somebody could consider parking on one side versus the other?
We can consider it. Right now, the only places that have parking on one side of the road are in the townhome areas. That's
right,
it.
which
Everybody else
I
has
know,
parking
that's
on
why I
both sides.
said, I mean, at least in that area, or there shouldn't be parking around that corner. But like I said, even when I'm driving through during the day, if kids are playing outside, you can't see. Like there's like literally you're curving into a driveway to let a car go by because there's like 6 cars on both sides. And it's not like one every so often. It is like the whole lineup is full of cars, and you're just kind of going between them. And I just feel that it is a dangerous factor. So other than that,
Thank you
that's
for
all.
bringing
Well,
that
no,
to us.
thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Any other comments today? I know.
So,
Can you tell us your name?
Mark Blair. And so last week we got an email saying that Brittany Park is going to be upgrading their park stuff in the park. And they said you could vote on it, and they gave 2 options on it. And you're supposed to have it in by last Friday. I'm wondering what the outcome was.
We don't know yet. That goes through Grace Lake Park District. So that link actually, the results actually go to the Park District. We haven't seen any of those results directly here. They sent it to us to pass on to our residents so that it went just to the Hainesville people instead of going from the Grace Lake Park District, which would then go to all of Grace Lake area and us. So once they get that down, I'm sure they'll give us the winter results and then their plan for the spring for us.
Just curious.
No worries. That's what you're here for, right? Okay, if there's no other public comments, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. So you have to motion to second first, yes.
So moved.
Second.
And then discussion.
Yes.
So we, yeah, you're going to request to remove that item number 3 from the consent agenda, not on your paper. Just here. We're just going to remove this item from the consent agenda right now.
Can I just ask a question and maybe we would leave it in?
No, you cannot.
Oh, just take it out.
Yep, remove it for now,
All right, the stuff for risk management needs to
for
be
item number
removed.
3.
There's 2 things,
Yep,
3 things for risk management.
okay. So then, we're going to roll call to approve that. Okay. So we're going to take a roll call then to approve items 1 and 2 of the consent agenda.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Wait a minute.
Would we remove this only going to, that's it, for the consent agenda?
Okay.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
You represent? Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Priest.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Now we read that resolution. This, okay. Then I need a motion to approve, for the approval of the October 28, 2025 bills payable for $291,139.11.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Ah,
Now you talk. That's separated.
okay.
Well, I'm confused. We just removed that.
Because we want to discuss it.
Say what?
Because she wants to discuss it.
Oh,
Items
I see.
under the
Oh,
consent
okay.
agenda.
Okay,
are
I got it.
resolutions.
My question to you, Kelly, is what does this organization do for us?
This is our village insurance, general liability, workers' comp, it's our yearly thing. It's in the bills payable, but it's also an agenda item. Number one, the renewal of our Illinois Municipal League Risk Management Association insurance. So RMA is Risk Management Association. The village for the first RMA is the league dues, IML league dues, for $450. Then the next two is, the first one is the general fund portion of our insurance for $20,000. And then the other portion is for the public works insurance for $17,287. So it's our village insurance. It covers our vehicles, our building, open items out in the, like our garden over here, the signs, entrance signs, all of
Does it
that.
include director's insurance?
We don't have director's insurance, we have this other type of insurance, like volunteer insurance and stuff like that. We've researched that before, and I can resend you when we research it, what we
Because we're not
have.
volunteers.
Well, there's trustees and all that, you're all covered with this.
We're covered with
We've
something.
been through this.
We're covered with
Yeah, yeah, we
Okay.
did look at that.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
very much. I didn't realize that that was the name of our insurance company because it doesn't say insurance.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Trustees Richmond. Aye. George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Priest.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Reports and discussions. Anything additional for finance?
Aye.
Okay. Great Age Club?
Yes, the Great Age Club had their progressive dinner this month, and it was very successful. We had 16 people come. One place for appetizers and entrees, and another place for desserts. Next month, on the 13th of November, there's 16 of us going to CLC for 39 Steps, the play 39 Steps. And our holiday party is scheduled for December 2nd. If there's anyone who's 60 or better that would like to join us, we would be happy to have you for a small group. We're very pleasant to deal with, and we have meetings on the first Tuesday of the month here at the Village Hall at 10:30. We usually have a program or a movie or games or something, and then of course we go out to lunch after. Everything has to do with me. So, or if you know anyone who doesn't live in Hainesville and would like to be part of this, we welcome people outside of Hainesville as well.
Community events, Civil War?
As you all know, we had our annual Civil War reenactment this past weekend. Actually, a weekend or so ago. Anyway, it was very successful. On Saturday, the weather cooperated. And on Sunday, we had rain all night and it rained most of the morning. And so it made it very treacherous for people to operate. And so we finally called it off. In any event, we'd like to Public Works did an outstanding job in doing their support as they always do, so I'd like to thank Israel and his crew. Georgianne and some of the other seniors helped out on the information booth on Saturday, so thank you very much for that support. We did have some high school students as well on Saturday. We'll be getting, since the horses couldn't be there at all because it was too wet even on Saturday, not like in a real war. So we'll be getting some money back from that because they didn't participate at all. That's all I have right now.
Okay, just two quick things. I just wanted to let everyone know that in the October newsletter, we did put out, that we did put out to the residents and everyone in the community to submit their suggestions and names for our public works area that we have over here. That information was taken, compiled, sent out to the board and staff, drilled down to a top 3 choice, which was then drilled down to a winner, and just we have selected Veterans Garden will be the name of the public works green space that we have now, so which works perfectly with black and everything that we have over there. So that's that, and then the only other thing is just a reminder that trick-or-treating is this Friday from 4:30 to 7:30. So if you are open to trick-or-treaters, make sure you have your porch lights, garage lights on, things like that, so they know that they're welcome. That's all I have.
Okay, my regular mails report is in the board packet, but I did want to bring up George and I met with Liz Kunkel with Recycle Coach this morning, actually. This is a program that the state is funding to push out to communities and through like their local SWALCO to help residents figure out what kind of things to recycle, where to recycle them. This isn't just like your garbage and your plastics and your cardboard and things like that. It's also like furniture, lamps, electronics. We do have an electronics one, but other things as well. And it's basically we would input a little bit of information into it through the office staff, and then it would be a link that you could click on through our website, download an app, and then use the app either on your phone, your laptop, or your PC. And it has a couple of different features where you could how do I recycle this as you're standing there holding it in your hand? Where do I take batteries? Is there a local place to do this? So it kind of is just an extra tool that SWALCO and the other communities are pushing to help with recycling in the areas and stuff. So talking to the staff and Christina, and we think that it's something that we can easily promote to the village. It doesn't cost a resident anything to download the app on any appliance or device at all, and it is, like I said, completely funded by the state. So we'll probably move forward with it. George and I sat and listened to a presentation today, and the woman probably recycles everything in her entire house. But she was had a lot of information for us about it. So if you're interested in recycling, it's a good tool. If you don't recycle, that's fine too. It's just a tool that you can use if you want.
What's the name of the app?
Recycle Coach.
Recycle Coach.
Yeah. So, and she gave us a little presentation. I can give you guys copies if you'd like a copy of what she gave us today too.
Our neighbor, Grace Lake, is already into that program, so if somebody wants to check it out, see what they're doing, that's available. And they're right next door.
And she also gave us some ideas for like our winter, like composting and stuff like that, how we can continue with our composting even though we don't have our yard waste to put it into at the time over the winter months too. So that's one of the tools that can help you in here as well. So thank you. Okay, nothing else from me. We can move on to business. I need a motion for the approval of renewal of our Illinois Municipal League Risk Management Association insurance for $37,287.36 for 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? No? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Duberstein,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein,
Aye.
Priest,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of the 2025 tax levy resolution for $530,000.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Have a question.
Yes.
Try to find it. In that listing that you had for the finance of, I can't find it now, but, we didn't seem to mention the 25,000 plus.
You're talking about the SSA?
Yeah.
That's next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Not my night.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Duberstein,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein,
Aye.
Priest,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And for discussion only, the 2025 special service area tax levy. Kelly?
Okay, trustee Abramson, Mayor Koval, and myself met to discuss the tax levy that you, resolution that we just passed, and now also with the SSA. I put some figures together with what we're currently budgeted for this current fiscal year that ends April of 2026. What we spent so far, remaining, a projected balance of $14,933. When we went through this and looking forward to next year, even though budget requests are not in, we just have that guideline of what we want to do at the Cranberry Lake areas, and that is, we feel it is still in the best interest to collect, not raise the SSA, but keep it the same and have it once again at $25,200. So, is there any questions regarding that?
Yes. Going along with my confusion of the night, in your listing of the expenses and what we've got so far and what's remaining, I don't see anything listed here of the 25,200.
That goes within the revenue. Cash in the bank, 63,984, already has some of that tax levy revenue. We get distributions periodically. Could be once a month, could be twice a month, could be that. So I was taking a snapshot when I produced this cover, this information sheet, to say what is in our bank balance right now. So that includes all the revenue. What expenses have not come out of our bank balance yet? That's the next line item that we should be taking out once we get the bills and the work performed. And then what other revenue is still needed, and that's the third item, says SSA levy revenue remaining for $1,096. So at that time, from our $25,200 tax levy of last year, we're still waiting for this $1,000.96. So this is how I get, then I put projected interest, which increases it. So as of April 30th, 2026, if all of this, all the expenses went, we did collect that full $1,096 and the interest is there, I'm projecting our bank balance for SSA to be $14,933. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Kelly, I have an answer. Is Ireland done with Cranberry Lake?
I think I think they have one more session to come out there for this year.
If I recall, we had 2 invoice sessions so
Yes.
far with them.
Yeah.
You got any other
I don't know if I did this week or not, I have to go back and look.
I haven't seen it. It's in my, or two.
Thank you, Kelly.
And they had it in the time, it's not
Yeah.
like,
In their timeline.
Their
it's
timeline.
been-
right, the seasons,
Seasons, basically.
yeah.
Okay, moving on. I need a motion to accept the annual financial report ending April 30, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Dickerson,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Jan Dickerson,
Aye.
Priest,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, and I need a motion for the approval of the annual treasurer's report for fiscal year ending April 30, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Dickerson,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Georgiana Dickerson,
Aye.
Priest,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Excellent. And finally, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in